News 46 is brought to you by Inspiration Senior Living, where we provide affordable elegance to Pahrump area seniors. Give us a call at 751-2300 and make an appointment to tour our community. News is also brought to you by Dr. George Leeks, Pahrump's optometrist since 1990, offering full-spectrum eye care for children and adults. Call today, 727-8300. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Tonight on News 46, presidential candidate Ben Carson makes a stop in Pahrump, several structures catch fire over the weekend, and a rally is held at Comstock Park. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Monday, November 23rd, 2015. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. This is News 46. Presidential candidate Ben Carson made a visit to Pahrump this morning. The doctor spoke to a packed room at the Pahrump Nugget and was able to meet with the press shortly after his speech.
Have you ever noticed that when you read an article online and you go to the comment section, you don't get 5 comments down before people are calling each other all kind of horrible names? Where did that spirit come from? I'll tell you where it did not come from. It did not come from the Judeo-Christian heritage of this country. It came from something else. And if we have evidence that there is radicalization going on, and the point that I'm making is that it doesn't have to be specific to a mosque. It can be any place. It can be this place where we are right now. But if there are multiple reports and indications that radicalization is going on there, we shouldn't just turn a blind eye to that. We should go investigate, see what the heck is going on, and take appropriate action if there is something going on. That doesn't matter whether it's a mosque or a school or a supermarket or an automobile mechanic shop. The thing that will destroy our country is if we are overly concerned about violating somebody's sensibilities while we allow blatant activity to occur that will violate all of our sensibilities. Well, on the home front, we need to recognize that there are probably terrorist cells here already. There are a number of things we need to do. I've already alluded to some of them. We have to get the TSA much more professional and with a much greater capability of detecting things that are being snuck through airports and other transit sites. That's crucial. And the failure rate is way too high. We have to make sure that we provide adequate resources for the FBI and for the other agencies in our country to be able to monitor and to act when we, in fact, detect activity that is going to be harmful to our nation. As far as racial relationships are concerned, one of the things we have to ask ourselves is, what is it that people are concerned about? And we need to address those things specifically. The relationships between, for instance, the black community and the police, I think result from the fact that they don't know each other very well. And you always tend to be suspicious of those whom you don't know.
France launched its first airstrikes from an aircraft carrier against ISIS today as President Francois Hollande began a diplomatic offensive to persuade world leaders to join a coalition fighting the terror group. Warplanes took off from the aircraft carrier Charles de Gaulle in the eastern Mediterranean and attacked ISIS targets in Iraq and Syria. With the addition of carrier-based aircraft to its fleet attacking ISIS by air, France now has 38 aircraft carrying out bombing raids against the terror group. It has been confirmed that several dogs have been poisoned at Comstock Park just off Highway 372. A rally was held Saturday and Sunday by residents who are upset about the Homeowners Association not informing residents about the deaths of animals in the park in the recent past. The sheriff's office has said that they received 4 reports of the poisonings and that they are currently under investigation.
My group, Pahrump Justice for Animals, picked this up all over Facebook. I just want to make it clear we're not here to interfere with any investigation, nor is ACE or any of the other groups. We picked it up and we're trying to follow this case and get the facts. It's our understanding that multiple dogs have been poisoned in the park here. Evidently the sheriff came out last Wednesday, took a very detailed report, took some evidence with him of tainted food, allegedly tainted food, and it's been reported to be confirmed it is poison. This has happened in the park here. We've confirmed with 2 owners here this morning that their dogs died. We have one in the house now that's down, that was in the yard with the other one, and we don't know the status of that dog, but the sheriff is investigating, did a very detailed report as I stated, and we're trying to make sure it brings justice to these animals that are being killed.
Well, a few days ago my mother called me and she was very distraught, very upset, and I came over and her dog Max was sick and he was throwing up. He was fine just shortly before that. She let him outside, he came in, and a little while later we finally took him to the vet, was able to get him to the vet, and it was determined that he was poisoned. We went out and we searched the yard and we found pieces of hot dog, bacon and chicken, that there was green in it, but there was also another substance, a foreign substance that we had no idea what it was, but it was determined by the Sheriff's Department as well as the Animal Hospital on Homestead. It was determined that this was poison. Her next door neighbor came over that evening and her dog was sick, and unfortunately he died as well. There were 5 dogs on the street that had passed in just a few days. And then as we were trying to figure out what was going on, we were talking to different people, and it came to my attention that there have been approximately 16 dogs over the past 5 or 6 months that have died from poisoning in this park, and not one person has been warned. There's been nothing put out as a warning from this association here, nothing.
Because that's what you guys are rallying about
Yes.
today, is that the park didn't let you know that this was happening?
Yes, and I would like to force them to put something out. There's a lot of elderly people who live here. My mother, she's 74 years old, and Max was her companion. Max was her child, you know, as most of us have pets, and they are like our children, you know. But there are a lot of elderly people here who don't get out. A lot of them don't go anywhere. A lot of them don't have television, and there's no way of them knowing what's going on.
And we have an update regarding a fatal collision that occurred. On Tuesday, November 17th at approximately 5:30 in the evening, Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies and detectives, along with Nevada Highway Patrol and Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue Service, responded to a traffic accident at the intersection of Homestead Road and Elderberry here in Pahrump, involving a bicyclist versus a car. The 20-year-old bicyclist was pronounced deceased on scene. Upon preliminary investigation, it has been determined that the driver of the vehicle was not at fault in this accident, according to police. News 46 will return in just a moment.